This NASCAR 2024 Win Totals Picks Part 2 edition of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit hofbets.com. Use code SGPN for 50% off of your first month and start making smarter bets today. We're also brought to you by the SGPN app. The SGPN app is completely free to download and home to all of your favorite SGPN podcasts, contests, and picks. Just type SGPN in your app store today to download America's #1 DGen app.
Driver, start your engine!
Strap in and pull those belts up tight as the Sports Gambling Podcast Network presents the NASCAR Gambling Podcast.
I'll wreck my mom to win a championship. I'll wreck your mom to win a championship.
With all the news and the best bets for your NASCAR weekend.
It refrains me from not beating the out of you right now because you asked me stupid questions. But since I'm on probation, I suppose that's improper to say as well. If you could talk about racing things, we could talk about racing things.
Now, here are your hosts, Rod Villagomez and Cody Zeeb.
Wrapping up the week, talking racing things. It is, of course, the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. He's Cody Zeeb. I'm Rod Villagomez. As we talked about it earlier in the week, Christmas came early for us in the form of all kinds. Now, I'm a little nervous, Cody, that we've burned through all of these already this week, and we haven't spaced it out enough. But I think we just got too excited.
Basically, how do you not like that? Just gives. Okay, give us more now, right? So, I mean, I don't want to get too greedy, but we got through all this, so give us more to talk about. And there should be Xfinity and truck stuff coming out in the near future too. I think we're going to be just fine. We got plenty of other stuff to talk about, plenty of stuff to preview. It's like I don't have the exact number today. I'm off my game, but it's around 50 days until the Clash of the Coliseum. So, shit, we're almost there, Rod. It's not that far away.
I know. I look at the date of the Coliseum first, and then I look at the date of the Daytona 500, and I think, oh man, it's in February. It's February 18th, and then I remember we're already halfway through December.
It's almost Christmas, man.
Like, there's no way that this is gonna not just jump out at us like within a moment's notice. So, pretty excited, pretty happy, and listen. To be honest with you, the fact that we have all this stuff to talk about, like we said last season, we kind of went into mothballs. And we only were putting out a couple episodes a week because, I mean, all we were doing was going over car numbers, and that wasn't very popular with people. However, I will say that our big boss loved the car number thing, so you guys can all suck it.
Dude, when he made that comment in that meeting, I was like, yes, somebody likes the car numbers.
Justification. And I know in the comments are going to be like, Rod and Cody won't shut up about that one.
Really? I think it was just the one guy that didn't like it.
It really was the one guy that voiced it. But I always say that one voice can represent, 10, 15,
Let us know if you want us to bring back the car number history.
Yeah.
See, and that's what's sad about it. We only had certain episodes on certain days last year. We didn't hit all the car numbers. Plenty of car numbers we could have talked about this year. Oh, well.
I mean, listen, there's still always next off season, right? So we got plenty of time. Or actually, we still got a full month of January that we're probably
we might hit some of them 30s.
All right. Well, today we are going over the second half of the win totals. We ended with Ryan Blaney last week, or last episode rather. Feels like last week already. Last episode. we left off with Ryan Blaney, so we'll go over the other 9 drivers that are available. But there's actually been some news, and we kind of skipped over it the last couple days, but I think now's a good time to talk about some of the news that we found out this week about drivers, about my favorite Canadian that's not a Canadian from California finding a new ride, and just a ton of other stuff that happened while we were all asleep. So, Cody, let's start with that JGR thing. That kind of is a huge stable and a lot of drivers to talk about at once.
Yeah, so JGR, I mean, the Xfinity thing, there's been rumors. We kind of knew who the drivers were for the most part, but didn't necessarily know exactly how everything was going to go. Obviously, Coach Gibbs kind of let it slip when he told the Washington Commanders owner, "This is Eric Almirola. He drives for us now." Boy, I wonder what that means. So yeah, they're going to expand back out to 4 Toyotas, which they had been previously. They kind of contracted the last couple of years and just ran the 3. So it's going to be Sheldon Creed in the number 18 car, obviously moving over from RCR in the 2 car. Kind of expected that. So he's going to be in the number 18. Then they're going to add the number 81. Speaking of numbers, kind of a cool little throwback. Dale Jr. drove the 81 car in the Busch series at the time, or might have been, I think it was Busch. Maybe it was Nationwide by then. I don't know, whatever it was, in what is now the Xfinity Series at points, which was pretty cool. So 81 car is for Chandler Smith. Somebody I think we're going to be talking a lot about when we get to the futures episodes for Xfinity. And then Eric Almirola, to nobody's surprise, really, we kind of all saw this coming. Eric Almirola is going to split driving duties of the number 20 with John Hunter Nemechek. Sounds like Nemechek will run about 10 races, which the limit on the Cup Series guys is 5 races, right? But that's only after you've completed 3 full seasons in the Cup Series. So John Hunter does have a full season under his belt, but he's not past that 3 yet. So he can run as many races as he wants, not running the playoff races, not running, what is it, Xfinity, the Dash for Cash or whatever they do. Can't run those either. But so he will split the 20 car with Eric Almirola. This is kind of what was expected from Almirola, retiring from full-time Cup Series, spend more time with the kids, but not ready to hang up yet, right? Let's go back and have fun. And not only have fun, he's going to be in fast cars. We saw him win a race last year in an RSS Ryan Sieg racing car, right? And now he's going to be in a very fast Joe Gibbs car. He could be competitive. I mean, if he's running races like New Hampshire and stuff, he might be the driver to beat in those races. So I think that's going to be a fun guy to bet on throughout the season. So they'll split the number 20 car, and then the number 19 car is kind of going to be their pay-to-play car, I guess you could say. Ryan Truex is going to be back in that. Obviously, he won a race this past season. William Sawalich, we saw him run some truck races for Tricon this past season, and I believe he's full-time. Boy, I have to look. I think he's full-time in for Tricon this season. And then Joe Graff Jr. is back, scraping up the money. And Taylor Gray, my guy, going to get some starts as well. So, yeah, this is a solid lineup. Creed, obviously, we saw what he could do in that 2 car. JGR cars are better. I mean, I know Austin Hill had a lot of success in the RCR cars, but the JGR cars are next level. Not only does Sheldon Creed get his first win this season, I think he wins multiple races. Chandler Smith, you saw him kind of over compete in that Kaulig car, I think. Now he steps up into a better ride. That's going to be great. Almirola is going to be a guy we're going to watch plenty. Still going to have opportunities to bet on John Hunter Nemechek, which is going to be great. Might be some spot places you can get in on these 19 guys with Truex, with Sawalich, and maybe even Taylor Gray too. Not Joe Graff, don't bet on him. But yeah, interesting. Ty Gibbs not listed on here. I don't know if he'll run any Xfinity races or if this means he's just going to focus on Cup, which might not be the worst idea. Just focus on going out and putting together a solid Cup series season. And then no Denny Hamlin listed here. So I don't know if any of those guys are going to run some races or if these are like their core and those guys will still do some one-off type of races. I'm not sure, but solid lineup for the JGR Xfinity program.
As if you expected anything less. I mean, this is JGR. They definitely are trying to load their cupboards, and they have to, because again, we've talked about junior motorsports being sort of the class of the field, and yes, Gibbs is still right there, and it's almost 1A, 1B between those two teams as far as I'm concerned, because I love me some junior motorsports. I can never let those guys go, but you have to have somebody to have the lineup to get, and with all of the JGR guys going to Cup, it's like you have to fill that pipeline, and these guys definitely are worth that. It's going to be fun to watch Sawalich, I think, in this Xfinity Series. Like you said, it's going to be fun to watch Taylor Gray. I'm going to be very interested to see how Eric Almirola does handle this, right? I mean, this is a manufacturer switch. This is an entire, this is everything, right? This is him going to a completely different setup, a completely different environment. So was SHR a little bit more toxic than we thought it was, and maybe this is going to give him new life in racing? Who knows? But like you said, he won a race last season in lesser equipment, and he could compete in this.
With him, I mean, he's a seasoned veteran. Like, he's been in the Cup Series a long time. Now you're going to step down a level, so you're competing against a lot of guys that are younger or not as talented. I mean, he's going to be one of the more talented guys there. You're not in the Cup Series as long as Eric Almirola was. A lot of sponsorship money and help that kept him around, but he's a good driver. Just won a Cup Series race a couple of seasons ago at New Hampshire. He's going to be, I mean, and again, I harped on it all season last year. Like, the JGR Toyotas are the fastest cars out there. You put a very good driver in a fast car, he's going to make the most of it. Maybe not every week, but he's going to be a guy we talk about plenty, I think. And then to John Hunter Nemechek still running part-time in this speaks, I think, to the relationship that Legacy Motor Club has now with JGR and the fact that John Hunter is going to replace Truex when Truex retires, I think, is kind of the idea in all of this. But keeping that relationship close as Legacy switched over to Toyota, I think that all kind of shows a positive as well.
We will see how this all plays out as the off season progresses. And then, of course, as the season progresses, but definitely be a lot of fun to keep track of all of these drivers. More to talk about, but first, let's tell you about Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy has a way to play alongside your favorite fantasy players all season long. NFL, NBA, NHL, and college basketball, college football. Simply pick higher or lower on your favorite players' fantasy stats and cash in. Make sure you check out and look for that spicy little chili they got going on there. That is going to give you an opportunity to win 100 times up your entry. All that good stuff. Thursday Night Football right around the corner. So make sure, or actually just happened, but Sundays chock full of slates. So make sure you check out Underdog Fantasy. Watch along, make a picks, maybe make a little cash over on Underdog's mobile app or website, underdogfantasy.com. And when you sign up with the promo code SGPN, Underdog's going to double your first deposit up to $100. That's Underdog Fantasy promo code SGPN. More drivers making their switches, making some new team debuts, not the least of which is a 3-letter word that we have come to either loathe or love in this, and that's SVG. SVG. Everybody's going to praise SVG.
All hail and praise to our Lord and Savior, SVG.
Wherever his championship odds are, people are going to bet on him like mad.
Dude, the amount of people I've already seen just like completely sucking him off and how he's going to make the Final Four and just dominate the Xfinity Series it's rather hilarious. Oh, boy. Anyways,
Cody
the news.
Cody can't even put it together.
I don't even want to hate this guy. It's just like people love him so much, and it's like, pump the fucking brakes. Like, anyways. SVG, Shane Van Gisbergen, is going to drive full-time Xfinity Series for Colleague. He's going to drive the number 97, so it's going to be a third car for Colleague. They've obviously got the 11 with Josh Williams, 16 with AJ Allmendinger. They'll have the 97 here with SVG. So he's gonna be full-time for Colleague in Xfinity. They had already mentioned, I don't know that tracks have been announced yet, but he's going to run truck races for Nice. We know that. So he'll be competing full-time in Xfinity, running some truck races. He's also going to do some cup races. Now, the cup races could be either with Colleague or Spire. We're not exactly sure yet. I don't know why it wouldn't just be a Colleague fielded car. And potentially it's the Colleague 16 car because we don't know about the driver or what the deal. But then again, some of the races you're going to have him in, AJ would probably be filling in. So who knows? But he is going to do, for cup races, he's going to do COTA, both Talladega races, the Coke 600, the Chicago Street Course, of course, Watkins Glen, and the Vegas October race. Why there's not more road courses on there, I don't know, because, I mean, why not use the talents he has, right? Again, he's not going to be the best road course racer, as we saw when he did, because he was at, which one was it that he went to? I don't remember.
The one after, it was Indy Road. No, was it Indy or was it? I can't remember. It's been so long.
I don't remember either. But anyways, like I said, he wasn't going to be that good, and he wasn't. But it'll be interesting to see him compete full time in the Xfinity. I mean, he ran that one truck race at IRP and did okay, and so everybody thinks he's going to be just wonderful everywhere. Again, we'll pump the brakes and see. Also, Colleague cars really that good. They could show up with AJ Allmendinger on the road courses, and a guy like Chandler Smith kind of pumps up and gets a win here and there. But other than that, Colleague program isn't super great, especially since they went to the Cup Series we've talked about it, their Xfinity program took a step back. So I don't know. Interesting. Again, I think he'll have a fine season. It's good to see him come over. It's good to see all of this. Is he going to make the Final Four? Let's slow down. All right. I don't know that's going to happen. But excited to see what he can do.
Yeah. And honestly, it's just a matter of the hype. Let's see if it builds up. Because, I mean, we've seen a lot of these drivers from other series and the hype around them come into NASCAR, and it doesn't pan out nearly as much. I know Chicago. I get it. I know he won. That was a fantastic story. It was a great win. But you gotta, I mean, a full season is a lot different than jumping into the car once.
Well, there's only so many road courses. There's a lot of road courses on the schedule. I get it, but it's mostly ovals, and so let's see how he does. Okay, because it's going to be, they don't race ovals in the Australian Supercars. It's going to be a transition period for him. Yes, I know he's raced dirt cars like twice in his life. That doesn't make him an expert. But yeah, so just pump the brakes on the expectations. But I think it's going to be a solid season from him. As far as, like I mentioned, he's going to be racing the Chicago Street Course in the Cup Series. NASCAR will allow the Cup Series guys to run in Xfinity. So you'll probably see a lot of Cup Series guys in the Xfinity race. Last year they didn't, because anytime they go to a brand new track, they don't want to give anybody that advantage of, we've never been on this track. Now you get to run the race the day before. Now that they've been there once, you can run any of the series that are running there. So he'll obviously run in both races, and probably be the favorite in both races, to be honest with you. And we'll see how it goes. I don't know that he's just going to walk in and sweep the weekend this time, but yeah, again, just pump the brakes on him. But excited to see him come over. It's going to be a nice, it's a fun journey to see him and how he transitions. And we've seen guys turn it into good careers. I mean, guys like Juan Pablo Montoya coming over, and there's been, even Danica Patrick. It wasn't the greatest always, but she had a nice career. And so it's Marcos Ambrose. He did a great job when he came over, kind of he might have even been an Australian Supercars guy. So plenty of examples of people doing all right. Just he's not Jesus, so just calm down on the praise. But other than that, excited for it.
Yeah, well, we never actively root for a guy to have a terrible career. No, we may actively.
No, there's one guy.
All right, there's
we've
one
now nicknamed Voldemort. I hope he loses every race, which is not really that much of hope because he does. But
all right, and then last, we'll wrap it up with Grant Enfinger news. He will be. We noted last season that Enfinger was obviously without a ride because the entire shop shutting down. So he has found himself a new ride in the number 9 truck. So good for him. I mean, obviously we knew he couldn't stay on the shelf too long. So glad somebody snatched him up. And the 9 truck's not bad, right? I mean, this is going to be a good opportunity for him to roll around and hopefully win some races.
Yeah, and so it's the CR7 Motorsports. That's who he signed with. And they've got an alliance with Bill McAnally or McAnally Hilgeman Racing, as it's kind of known. Which McAnally is the one who kind of bought most of the GMS assets. So you kind of expect that team to kind of replace GMS to a degree. Grant came from GMS. Obviously, it's where he was when he made his championship run this past season. Real close to being the champion, obviously, before the Corey Heim and Carson Hocevar thing at the end there. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he does. But he's been around, been in the Truck Series a long time. And he's kind of always done a great job in whatever equipment he's in. So I kind of expect that to continue.
And I don't see this as being a deterrent for us to place any bets on him next season. Obviously, you're going to want to see how he does in that, but I don't necessarily see this being the thing that makes us go, I don't know.
It's not going to be such a bad ride that his talent can't still shine through. And so I think he'll be just fine.
Yeah, because I mean, what else can he do at this point but just try to drive the hell out of that number 9? And I know that he will, and I think he'll do a good job doing it. So I'll still cheer for you next season, Grant Enfinger. So we'll have some fun with that. All right. Speaking of winning races, we got some drivers to talk about who could or could not win as many races as the books are giving them. But tell you about Hall of Fame bets. Win bigger by betting smarter this NFL season with Hall of Fame bets, the sports betting analytics platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Research every NFL, NBA, and soccer bet with historical stats and data. Enter any parlay idea into Hall of Fame bets revolutionary parlay optimizer tool. You're going to get hit rates broken down by leg, as well as an expected probability for the entire parlay. Sort all players by hit rate for any bet to learn which players are hot and which picks have value. So stop betting in the dark. Join over 30,000 users researching the Hall of Fame bets to craft more intelligent, data-driven parlays. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit hofbets.com. Use code SGPN to get 50% off of your first month today. Start researching, start winning. Hall of Fame Bets. Like I said, we left off yesterday with Ryan Blaney and that long discussion of whether or not he's going to win 3 races. Let's start by just digging right into the deep end here. The first name on this list is Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch, who made us a little money and then made us a little more as fading him and then made us just pull our hair out overall. Kyle Busch comes out, wins 3 races. We think this is the championship season for Kyle Busch because he's in that new car. He's feeling good about himself. Then all of a sudden, he loses his team. He's starting to lose races and just doesn't look like the same fiery Kyle Busch that we're used to after races in interviews. And we're wondering what the hell happened to him. So Kyle Busch, his win totals now this season set at, pardon me,
2.5,
1.5.
Really?
1.5.
Oh, what's the number on this?
So over 1.5 is at minus 105. The under is at minus 125.
Give me the over. Next.
Well,
oh, sorry. You wanted more than that. That's
no, it is.
Easiest
But
one
it is.
okay, Tyler Reddick was the easiest one we've done. But this, did we do Tyler Reddick yesterday? I can't remember.
We did Tyler Reddick yesterday. Yes, we did. Yeah. Feels like forever.
So yes, Tyler Reddick's the easiest one. This might be the second easiest one. It's Kyle Busch. Come on, he's won. We know. Look how close he got to winning multiple road courses last season. He won on a super speedway. He can win anywhere. 3 wins very early in the season, and he was a championship favorite at points, and then it kind of fell off, and things got rough. But he's going to be back this season. I have no doubt about it. We kind of talked as far as the championship, like how much do you believe he's going to make the run at the end? He's the type of guy who could get hot at the right time and get it done, but he's going to win races next season. That 8 team has been proven that they're good. Randall Burdett, he did it with Tyler Reddick the previous season, won races. Kyle Busch comes in, wins more races than he won at Gibbs in a couple of years. He's going to do it again. 2.5, I probably still would have taken the overs. That's where I thought it would have been set. But at 1.5, I'm definitely just two wins. That's all he has to get. That's easy for Kyle Busch, I think, and I'll definitely easily take the over, especially only minus 105. It's almost even, so yeah, love it.
So from 2015 to 2019, he had 5 wins, 4 wins, 5 wins, 8 wins, 5 wins. Right, 2020 down season for him. He only had 1 win. Bounced back with 2 wins in 2021. 2022, his last one with JGR. We kind of documented that was those guys they were playing nice, but he wasn't getting any extra help. He'd still won a race last season, 3 races. I think you're right. And at minus 105, that's not a whole lot to pay for a 2-win season out of Kyle Busch. I think he can get 2 wins. I don't see him not getting at least 2. If this were 2.5, that'd be tough. That'd be a tougher number.
Yeah, 2.5, I think, would be the more appropriate place to put it. And then it would be but I still think I would lean over. But yeah, like I said, at 1.5, he's only got to win 2. It's Kyle Busch, man. He's still one of the best drivers, in NASCAR history, really, to be honest with you. So we've seen what he's done across all the series. And I have no doubt that he can get to 2 wins fairly easily. And really, you could cash this ticket fairly early in the season if he starts off like he did last year. Gets hot right away. But he's going to catch fire at some point and get some wins to his name.
Well, if you'd have taken the over 1.5 last season, you would have cashed by Talladega. So that was the spring Talladega, not even the fall Talladega. Yeah, so you would have definitely, the first one would have been in your bank in California. Next one would have been right there at Talladega. So I'm with you, especially at minus 105. This is one that I think is not a bad idea. Like you said, sinking your money because you're not waiting all the way till November to cash this. You could probably cash this in April. All right, let's move on to the next one. It is young Alex Bowman. Is he
that young? I don't know.
I don't know. He's younger than me. So everybody younger than me is a kid.
How old is Alex Bowman? You keep talking. I want to check that.
Okay, look it up. Alex Bowman is set at a half a race. So really all he's got to do is win one the entire season. But here's the tricky part. And this is where I think this is one I completely stay away from, because I understand it. He didn't win a race last season, but like you said, he several times over, he was leading the points before he got hurt. Could probably end up gone on to win a race. But once you get injured, man, it's not easy for you to be in that car and to feel comfortable in that car. And it kind of shown through the rest of the season for Alex Bowman. Only 4 top 5s, 10 top 10s on the season. So only 33 races that he ran out of 36. It wasn't a good season for him. I think he can win a race this year. There's a possibility, but the over here is set at -150. So I can't suggest it. The under is at +120. I can't even bait you into that one either. I think he wins a race, but I think he only wins one, and I'm not paying 150 for it.
Pass. Yep. Yeah. I really have nothing else to add. He's 30, by the way. Did find that out.
So
but this one's just gross. He'll probably win a race, and he could win a couple. We've seen him win 3 before, but do you want to bet on it? And the over is juiced way up. It's just, and then like even a +120 under, there's a pretty decent chance he wins a race being in a Hendrick car. So yeah, just no thanks. Gross. Like I again, if you have to pick one, the over I would take, but I do not love it.
Well, again, it's really like kind of what you said. The equipment makes it to where you can't bet the under on this one, because there's that Hendrick cars win races. And if he's that guy, if he's the one that can do it. I mean, look, he finished 5th at Daytona, 3rd at Las Vegas, 3rd at Austin, started on the pole at Daytona and at Richmond. This was all obviously before the injury, but that's too close to the front for me to say that he can't win one of those races at any point, right? And it's just, I can't take the under, but I can't in good conscience tell you to take to sink the 150 into the over, because it's better for you to take the -105 on Kyle Busch to hit this over, because at least is going to hit it, and you're not paying that much juice for it. So I know you only pay the juice if you lose, but
yeah. If you remember back early last season before the injury, I mean, he was an auto bet for us to win each and every week, just because he's talented enough. He's in a good car. He's getting like 20-1 numbers, and he kept getting top 5s and top 10s and having good runs. And sure, he didn't get a win, but like, it doesn't take that much for a guy like that in that type of car to bust through and get one. We just saw Byron break out and have 6. The season before, Elliott had 6. The season before, Larson had 10. See the pattern here, Rod? Everybody's got their wins except I'm not calling for that. I don't think that's going to happen. But this team wins a lot of races, and Bowman is very capable of winning and at different tracks too. I mean, he's won at places like Chicago. I think he won at Kansas maybe. He's won all sorts of different places. And so I think that, I think he can definitely get to one. But again, the number is just absolutely disgusting. And I want nothing to do with it.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. All right. Ross Chastain is the next name on our list. And the over-under for Ross Chastain on season win totals
should be 2.5, but I bet it's 1.5.
It is 1.5. You, my friend, are a great.
I'm starting to see how these books are doing it. They're, like we mentioned yesterday, they're kind of going a little low on a lot of these guys, which is interesting.
Well, like we said yesterday, if you haven't listened to the first part of this, go back, listen to the first part of this. But 15 drivers won races last season, right? I mean, obviously there's 36 races, 15 drivers won. So that's not a lot. That's still half the races that have won by somebody that has already won a race. So the wins are not distributed as evenly as you would think. However, with Ross Chastain at 1.5, well, first of all, you're good handicapping. You're a great handicapper. But for Ross Chastain, he would have cashed this last season if you would have bet it. So his over 1.5 is at -115 and under is at -115. So the books are kind of confused either way. They're giving you the number, but they're like, we don't know which way to lean. So for us, it's to decipher, can he win 2 races this season? And again, this season, obviously. And how much are we willing to stake on that? Because for Ross Chastain, you knew he got close, right? Obviously, he won the last race of the season, which was fantastic for him. But can he do it again? Can he win a couple more races? Was he close enough on some of these other ones? Third at Fontana, fourth at Austin, third at Richmond, runner up in Dover, right? He won at Nashville and then kind of fell off a little bit, second at Texas, and then ended up winning in Phoenix. So how many of those could have translated into a win?
Yeah, I think that this is an interesting one for sure, but you definitely have to go with the over on this. We talked about Ross again on the championship part of things and how he should have another strong season. He won the last race of the season. I mean, he's going into the offseason with as much momentum as you can, other than Ryan Blaney, I suppose, who won the championship, right? And he can win at super speedways. We've seen him do it. He can win at road courses. 40-1. He cashed for a Dakota a couple years ago. He can win at ovals that aren't super speedways. He won in Nashville. He already had 2 wins this past season. Why does he not do it again? I don't really see any reason he can't. And looked really good early in the season, right? Was still dealing with the Denny Hamlin running and stuff early on. They kind of figured that out after the Phoenix incident. But then it was getting into it with Kyle Larson, and then Mr. H speaks up, and then Justin Marks speaks up, and it was kind of like, okay, go hide in the corner. Ross Chastain, didn't really hear from him for a while. Now he's got another season under his belt, and you got to remember, like, this is the guy who was driving starting parks. This is the guy who was driving shit cars in the back of the field, and now he's fought and clawed and scratched his way up here, and he's competitive, and he doesn't give a fuck about the championship race. He's going out here to win this race. And that type of attitude, that's what you want in a guy that you're going to bet on to win races. He's going to go out there and do what he has to do to win races, even if it pisses people off. You give him a fresh start to the season, coming in with the momentum of winning the last race. I think Chastain's going to be a competitor, and Trackhouse has seemingly established, at least with the one car, that they can be competitive on a pretty well week-to-week basis, and they show up with a lot of speed. They can run with the best of them. There was even glimpses from Suarez earlier on last season. It kind of trailed off at the end of the season, but where that 99 car was pretty fast on some ovals and kind of hung with cars for a little bit. And so I think that this is a pretty easy over for me as well. It's just so low. 2.5 again. I'd really have to think and get into 3, but only get into 2 wins. Like, it really feels like Ross can get that done. Again, he can win anywhere. So yeah, give me the over on this one.
And really where the math kind of sets in is, as I'm not expecting Byron to win 6 races again this season, right? We talked about it yesterday, where we don't necessarily see him winning 6 races. So you take just 1 or 2 away from that win total. Ross Chastain could easily scoop one of those up and maybe even win 3 this season, just if he's close enough. But yeah, I mean, for me, I think 2 is the number. I think 2 is definitely where he can get. And I don't hate the -115 for it. I think that's a pretty decent enough chance to take. Now, if this was over at -150, like, a couple drivers ago, then of course I'm saying no. But even still, I think he's going to get to 3. Even if I think he's going to get to 3, I still don't think 150 is a good enough price for you to be able to jump on that, because anything could happen. I mean, that's really the only thing about it. So 115 seems like a pretty decent price. I'm with you on the over. Let's talk about his teammate, Daniel Suarez.
Oh, give me the under.
You want the under?
Yeah.
The under a half a win?
Yes.
You want the under a half a win at -222?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Under a half a win. Cody wants -222. He's like, is it -2,000? I'll still take it. I can find a way.
We found the one where I don't care what the number is. Okay, that's good to know.
we know what Cody's threshold is. Like -6,000. Sure, I could still make that profitable. The over is at +170, which again, it doesn't even make it worth it in the end. I mean, +170 is great and all, but like, if you're gonna make the under -222, then you better make that over like +350 or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you really, really honestly think that Daniel Suarez is not going to win a race, then balls up a little bit, books, and give us a little better odds to bet the over, because I'm still not touching the over at +170. We talked about it though. The Trackhouse is fast in places. Daniel Suarez has been fast at ovals this season, or last season rather, but we haven't seen it since Sonoma, where he obviously can win a race. I don't know what it is about that whole Daniel Suarez thing, where he looks fast, he's hanging in the top 10, but we haven't seen him be able to punch it through for a win. We've seen him lead laps, we've seen him lead races, but only once. And even still, I kind of protest that one, because that was the race where Elliott and Larson
both choked it away.
Yeah, and that opened the door up for Suarez. And then of course we were like, oh yeah, well Suarez can get this done. Like that'd be fantastic. And then he just sort of kind of petered off a little bit. So I mean, I know he didn't win a race last season. So that's obviously one of the reasons why the under is so ridiculously juiced. 3 top 5s, 10 top 10s overall in the entire year. So I mean, he did start on the pole once. That means he had a little speed, but I don't know. I can't tell you to take the over, especially only at plus 170. But if you do lean away, go ahead and take the over, because if he does win a race, you'll be happy. And if he doesn't, you'll be like, well, he wasn't supposed to anyways. So I don't know. Maybe it's a little gift for yourself if he actually does accidentally win a race. And you're just like, oh yeah, I was the only person in the entire world holding the Daniel Suarez over ticket. But
you and Daniel Suarez's mom, maybe.
Hey.
Yeah, I don't bet this at minus 220 on the under, but don't bet the over either. I mean, again, this is one you just pass up on it. You look at this guy's career. He won the Xfinity Series championship in 2016. 2017, he kind of gets thrust into the car when Carl Edwards abruptly retires, right? So 17 and 18 in JGR equipment, no wins. 2019, he goes over to Stewart-Haas, no wins. You know, then he has a season off where he's in the 96 car or whatever for Gaunt Brothers. Nobody cares. Comes to Trackhouse, doesn't win in 2021, gets the one win in 2022. Again, he earned it. Best car that day, no. Could nobody pass by any means ever? Also correct, yes. 2023 doesn't win anything. A lot of years in elite equipment, not really delivering on these. One career win in all those seasons. Again, we talked about it. I feel like he's on the hot seat. Really, the only reason he's maybe not on the hot seat is because of the partners he brings and how much some of these companies just absolutely love him and his fan base, which is great. And then that's part of the business as well. And he's still a talented driver and he does fine, but he's just not a guy you can count on to get you wins. So I wouldn't bet this, but if I had to, I would lay the minus 220 on the under, because I don't think Daniel Suarez wins a race. And if he does, I'll be shocked. And you know, again, I can admit that I'm wrong, but I just don't see it happening.
Well, he came close twice. He finished second in Atlanta and then third over there in the Indy GP, where he did start on the pole. So, I mean, something happens in front of him and he's the one that benefits from it. He accidentally steals one. But again, we're kind of telling you to stay away from this one. But I'm saying that's just a path. It could happen accidentally.
Sure.
It already did.
Anybody can win super speedways. So that's, you know, something. Atlanta, you have to toss that out there. They're not going back to Indy this year for the road course. So take that away from them.
If your strategy is to take a unit and break it across all of these plus overs, especially like the plus half a race overs, then first of all, that's a crazy strategy, and I probably think you should rethink it. But I still think, you know, this one could hit. I'm just saying, accidentally. If we saw Ricky Stenhouse win a race,
well, and that's always the disclaimer on that. Is super speedway wins. Anybody can do it, and you can't be super shocked when somebody wins one, and that can definitely throw it off if you have an under. But he's not just going to go out and win anywhere else, I don't think. So I'll take the gamble. He doesn't win one of those 6 super speedway races, and I feel pretty good about that.
This might be the longest that we spend on Daniel Suarez for the entire offseason. So
unless he wins a race, then maybe we'll dedicate an episode to how I was wrong, and congratulations to Daniel Suarez.
Well, and then we'll make you sing the Mexican national anthem. I don't know. We'll
again, no more singing for Cody. We've already established I can't really do it. So,
all right, let's get to the meat of this one. They give us Kyle Larson right smack dab in the middle of this. Kyle Larson's season win race total is, what do you think, Cody?
What you said, Kyle Larson?
Kyle Larson.
Well, we talked about this yesterday, so I believe it's set at 2.5.
Oh no, it's set at 3.5.
Oh, it is. Oh, that's right. I guess 4.5, and it's 3.5.
Yeah, 3.5.
Yeah.
Over is at minus 125. The under is at minus 105.
Oh, okay. So they're leaving it. Wow.
Yeah.
How do you just not take the over? This is a lot of overs today. I feel like, I don't remember. Maybe yesterday was a long time ago. Maybe we went more on the unders train. I feel like we did. But some of these overs are set so low, and maybe that's why that's how they're going to get you. bet on a bunch of overs, and there's only so many races. But it's Kyle Larson, man. I know he didn't do it last season, but it's Kyle Larson.
But he did. He got 4
Oh, that's
wins.
right. He did get 4. Yeah, because it's at
before
3.5. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he had 10 2 seasons ago. Again, old car, different scenario, but it's Kyle Larson, best driver in the entire world. Like, I rest my case.
And knocking on the door for a lot more wins than he got. I mean, again, those 4 wins were the 4 wins, but you want to talk about getting, taken out by Denny Hamlin. You want to talk about
going to the beach and what was that?
Oh, he was winning that race too.
he was gonna win. I mean, it wasn't Homestead, was it?
No, it wasn't Homestead. I can't remember where he hit the
he took out
sand trap
instead of taking it. Oh, that was Texas, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I think so. But and I mean, he's not going to win on super speedway, so you can throw those 6 races out, but he can win on any of the road courses, and he can win. He's going to be the favorite on almost every other single oval you go to throughout the season, probably a lot of the road courses too. So he's the best driver in the world. The dude wins, like we said the other day. Oh, look, he just won whatever event he's in tonight. So, and he's whatever event he's in tomorrow night, he's going to win that too. And you can just play that on repeat every day because he wins races every single day, it seems like. And dude is just world-class talent, one of the best in the world, if not the best. And you've got to take the over here. And I think you still consider the over even at 4.5, and maybe even if they set it at 5.5. Like, again, this is the type of guy who can go out and win you 10 races plus the All-Star race like he did a couple of seasons ago, and it's not really that crazy for him to do. So only having to get to 4, that seems criminally low. And I don't really understand it, but yeah, definitely give me all the over. And it's not even, the juice is a very appropriate for the over. So
I was just about to say that minus 125 is not minus 150. It's not minus 175. It's literally
not minus 220.
It's not minus 220. Yeah, you don't want to do that either. But I mean, listen, runner up at Las Vegas, right? Led 201 laps at Phoenix, finishing 4th after he started on the pole in that one. Led 75 laps at the Bristol Dirt after starting on the pole. I mean, runner up at Kansas. It's just, any one of those could have ended up being a win for him. And then that even puts you into 5-win category. And if we're taking wins away from William Byron, I'm sure Kyle Larson can pick one of those up as well. So
Kansas was the last lap, right? We talked about that with Denny Hamlin, where he took that from Larson. Pocono, Denny Hamlin got Larson there at the end of that one. Yeah, it's you've got to go over on this. I think it's a fairly easy case to make.
I agree. All right, this next one kind of pisses me off, and it pisses me off in a way that you're getting Bubba Wallace. Okay, you're getting Bubba Wallace at a half a win, but here's what pisses me off.
It's way juiced to the over, isn't it?
Minus 140 to the over. If you're gonna do
that bad.
Yeah, but if you're gonna do that, just put it at a 1.5. Give me minus 110. Give me, don't give me this like half a win, but then go, oh, but we're gonna charge the hell out of you if you want to take the over, because Bubba Wallace could end up winning a race next year. We talked about maybe how 2311
he'll win a race.
This is what I'm saying. Yeah. Like
I'll take it. Minus 140. I don't care. He's winning a race. He's winning at least one. If he doesn't win 2, it's more than you want to pay. Minus 140, but I'll pay it. I think he's winning a race. How does he not? He's too good. The car is too good. They're too fast. Again, I think Reddick's going to break out. That's going to push Bubba even more. He's going to be in the mix in all 6 super speedway races. And he saw, the 1.5 mile program for 2311 is so freaking good. Tracks like Michigan, he's going to be good. I expect him to be good at Indy. Love it. Give me minus 140. I don't care. I'll take the over.
All right. So, but the under, if you don't believe in that, is plus 110.
That's not even that's if you're going to put a minus 140 of the over, at least make it worth betting the under. That's plus 110. No, thank you.
This is what I'm saying. This was the probably most lazy thing they could have done in the entire world. They're like,
it's like, well, he's going to win a race, so we'll just almost price you out and then not reward you if he doesn't happen to win one.
Yeah. Yeah. If you only pay the juice if you lose. So I suppose
you're not going to lose. He's winning one. So
yeah, I feel like he's got to win one.
Yeah, I'm very confident in that. Give me the over on Bubba.
All right, good. I'll take that as well. I mean, look, he led 80 laps at Richmond, 111 laps in Texas. Right, we started on the pole, finished 3rd. Yeah, definitely going to win one.
Could have won that Kansas race before he blew a tire. He's love it.
All right, you want a little more of a challenge? This one, I'll already tell you that I don't care. I'm taking the under on this one for sure.
Okay.
Christopher Bell.
Oh, geez, Rod is just. It's not a good week for Christopher Bell when it comes to Rod. Gosh.
Sorry. Like I said, he could rip me apart. Leave me all the reviews he wants. I don't care. I mean, what do you think his win total set at?
I'm gonna guess 1.5.
2.5.
2.5. Oh.
2.5. And
they're
the over
little bullish on Bell.
Quite bullish on Bell. And I will tell you, obviously, we talk about Christopher Bell, 2 wins last year. So they're giving him one more win this year. The over is set at -130. The under is set at +100. 100% taking the under.
It's -130 on the over?
-130 on the over.
Jesus, I wanted to take the over, but at -130.
Yeah, keep in mind, Christopher Bell only won 2 races last season.
Yeah, but he's super talented and he's in a Gibbs car. It's going to be fast.
He was super talented and in a Gibbs car last season, and he was fast. He won 2 races.
Okay, how many races did he win in 22? He won 3.
He won three, but
which there's an asterisk next to that. It says cardboard. So
yes. Yeah. See.
Oh man, I really thought this would be a 1.5, and then I was going to like the over, and it's still juiced up that much. Why? Yeah, I guess I'll have to go with the under too, even though I don't love it. Man, this is a tough one.
But where does he pick up that 3rd win?
Yeah, but he can win road courses. He can win most other places. He's really good at short flats, so places like New Hampshire, places like Martinsville, Phoenix, even. Man.
All right, listen. So let's
it's just
walk through some of that. Is that
give me the under, Rod?
Okay, fine. I know Watkins Glen, he finished 3rd. Bristol, he finished 3rd. Runner-up at Vegas. Right?
Was Bristol dirt though?
Bristol was the dirt. No, it wasn't the dirt. Was it?
Oh, he won dirt, didn't he?
Yeah, he won the dirt. He won the dirt and then ended up 3rd place after starting on the pole. He had 3 poles in a row.
They won't be back on. Well, he had like 15 poles this season.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I think you have to go with the under, especially for where the numbers at. Maybe if the plus money was on the over, you dabble a little bit there, but I can really see him out. I mean, he's another guy. I kind of view him as similar to a Tyler Reddick. I think Tyler's more talented, but Bell, I think, could shock at some point and kind of really just, I mean, the dude's made the Final Four the last 2 seasons. That should probably be shocking enough, not for guys like Rod, but but I could see him just jumping out and win. Like, he could be the William Byron and win 6 races all of a sudden, and you're like, okay, hello, Christopher Bell. I don't think I would be extremely shocked by that, but do I want to bet on him to win 3 at -130? Probably not. So again, I probably won't touch this one, but give me the under.
Yep, I'm taking the under as well. Not even lying about it. I don't. Yeah, look, I did not wake up this morning and yesterday morning attempting to not like Christopher Bell, and I don't not like him. Like I said, let's have a beer together. I mean, I don't hate any of these people. I'm just judging you strictly based on your performance, which is what I expect anybody to do to me. So, all right, let's move on to his teammate, Mr. Young Ty Gibbs.
Oh, yes.
Cody's
waiting for this one.
Smashing the over on this one, even though it's juiced at -600 for the over. It's a half a win.
It's only a half?
Only a half.
What is the juice?
-150 for that
on
for
the over?
Yeah.
I don't care.
And the under is at +120.
Hammer it. Dude, my best bet last season, off season, was Ty Gibbs under 1.5. It was too early. He was a rookie. Rookies don't win a lot of races. Wasn't going to happen. He came real close to winning a couple, and we almost hit him on a couple bets, but he's going off this year. Oh, man. Again, my love for Toyota continues to run deep. It's Tyler Reddick. It's Ty Gibbs. He's winning at least 1 race. 2, 3. Could he win a 4th? Maybe. So, yeah. I don't like the juice being that much, but only at 1 race. He's only got to win once. Yes, please. I love the over on this.
Yeah, and we've talked about Ty Gibbs at length in matchups.
How does he not win a race this season? Like, he's so talented and he's in such a good car. How does he not win a race?
But see, and that's the thing. Like, earlier in the season, he was a legitimate top 10 car almost every single week, right? I mean, obviously the finishes weren't always there, but he was always running inside of the top 10, top 15 as well, which is kind of not close enough to the front to say this guy's going to win, but top 10, top 5. He was in that conversation all season long. And maybe that conversation got a little bit shorter as the season progressed, but it's a long season, 36 races for these Cup guys. And then, of course, him going over the Xfinity every once in a while. If what we were talking about earlier in the episode is true, and Ty doesn't necessarily go run as many Xfinity races this season because of that giant stable of drivers JGR has now, maybe that does give him a little more time to focus and concentrate on the task at hand, which is to win a race, right? To win a race in the Cup Series car, which is what he was brought up to do. It wasn't to run top 10. It wasn't to make his teammates look better. It was literally to be the next face of his grandfather's company. And you do that by winning races. So I think you're right. I think that the sophomore, I don't know. What do you call a guy that's been in for a year and a half? It's still a sophomore run.
He's a COVID sophomore at this point. I think is how the NCAA would clarify it.
The extra year of eligibility. But yeah, I mean, for this to be his second full season in the Cup Series, I think this is a good opportunity for him to break out. You're right. He's in too good equipment. He's too talented. And there's too many opportunities.
He's great at road courses. He's very good at super speedways. He can win anywhere. You're not going to be able to count him out at any point in time. So just to get one, oh man. Because if they had this at 1.5, it would definitely be a tougher conversation. I would still take the over because I would still like it. But 2 is a little tougher to get to but he's getting to 1. I'm very confident. And I think he gets to 2 as well. But yeah, love it.
I mean, this is an overreaction to last season's 1.5, right? They're like, gosh, we said.
Oh yeah, well they got fucking killed on it. You're welcome, because I had a lot of money on the under on it because it was too easy, and yeah, and now it's flipped and it's too easy to go over than it was to go under, and yeah, overreaction by them because he was hyped up and it was like, oh, these, you got to pump the brakes on the rookies, and that's Josh Berry. It's the same thing, like you got to pump the brakes. But now I think that, and if he's not running Xfinity, that to me would show that they are serious about focus on the Cup Series. You're spending every waking moment getting better in this car, and you're going to go win races. So as much as I would love to see him in Xfinity and bet on him over there, that might be the best thing is just you focus on this car and going out and winning races, and I think he does.
Overreaction, but they're definitely covering their ass for it with a -150. And listen, Books, give us Josh Berry if you want to.
Yes, I mean you love him so much.
I want to see what you got.
Half a win, I don't care. Give me under half a win at -220. I'll put more on that than I'll put on Daniel Suarez.
All right, well, let's wrap it up with the last driver on this list. One Joey Logano. His win total is set at. I always give Cody. Yeah, there you go, 1.5. 100% 1.5. Winner of one
juice,
race
it's
last
gonna
season.
Be, let's see. I haven't guessed the juice yet.
Okay.
He's going to be 1.5. It's going to be -110 to the over. And it's going to be plus. No, wait. Oh, how do I want to go about this? How many wins? Do you have one win last season?
One win last season. Yep.
So it's going to be, I don't know where it's going to be.
I love this. I love watching your brain just kind of.
Because I'm trying to think, like, are they going to, they got to think he goes over, right? So it's going to be -120 to the over, -110 to the under.
Oh my God, you are off by just a smidge. -125 to the over, -105 to the under.
Oh shit! Oh damn, I'm good at this.
Dude, we need to start our book like that. The handicapping on this is fantastic. I love it. Yeah, so -125 to the over 1.5, and then -105 to the under 1.5. I mean, he won one last season, but it's Joey Logano.
What is Joey Logano, Rod?
He's the hardest person to handicap in the entire garage.
Exactly. But it's an even year, so give me the over.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
There's your handicap for sure. Yeah, but for Joey Logano, it is tough because he did come in second.
He can win any time. Like, he can win any week. You got to take the over, I think. And I don't love it. I'm not running to the window to place this one, but you got to go with the over. He's only 33. Like, he's just hitting his prime. We could have. I mean, he's already a 2-time champion. Oh, Rod, Joey could still blow up to where we haven't even seen him get to yet. Like, he is still at that perfect age. He could start, he could start ripping off and have, look back at Kyle Busch during this age, look back at Denny Hamlin during this age, back at these guys, like 6, 7, 8, 9 wins was normal for them at this age. Joey could be that type of guy at some point if they can bust through. If Ford can figure out their stuff. That's probably what's holding back the most, right? Is just Ford's clearly lagged behind on this new car, despite winning both championships again. But and if he could get a very good competitive car every week, like, watch out. So yeah, I think, again, a lot of overs today on this show, but I think it's, again, another place where you have to go with the over.
7 of 10 seasons. He's done that. He's won more than 2 races in 7 of 10 seasons. 2014, 5, 2015, 6, 2016, 3, 2017, he only got 1, but 2018 bounced back with 3, 2019, 2, 2020, 3, 2021 was another down year with 1 win. And then, of course, last season, or 2 seasons ago in 2022, there was 4. Last season was a down season. So, again, you want to talk about even years, 2018, 3, 2023, 2022, 4, 2024,
3 or 4 again.
3 or 4 again. So
if it happens again this year, it's gonna be crazy. Some of these patterns are just and they make no sense. Like with the Giants, like, how are they not just good every year, but they did it every other? So weird. You look at like Gabe Davis in fantasy football. If he goes off this week, Rod, he's like 18 points, 0, 18 points, 0, 18 points, 0, 18 points. Like, he's at like 6 or 7 weeks of a perfect pattern. It's crazy.
Let's take Gabe Davis over any fantasy
this
points
week. Play. If you have enough balls to play Gabe Davis in your fantasy playoffs, it's probably the right move, I suppose.
All of a
throw him
sudden,
in your DFS lineup. There you go.
League winner right there. Oh my God, you got tons of people running to the app going, okay, I'm starting Gabe Davis.
That is not an endorsement of Gabe Davis by me, because I've been burned by him and I have nothing
Cody.
to do with him. But
I heard start Gabe Davis.
If the patterns hold, if you're a big underdog, start Gabe Davis. There you go.
Beautiful. Well, like I said, if this number's at 2.5, I'm balking a little bit, but I still think the over would hit. So maybe 2.5 at just a little less juice. I'd still take that as well. Ladder, my friends.
Oh, be beautiful.
So, all right. Well, that'll do it.
I don't know if did you hear Denny Hamlin on the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Well, I think it was technically the Dale Jr. download because they put it on both feeds. But Dale and Denny had a conversation this week, and Denny mentioned that like one of the most important things NASCAR needs to do is embrace gambling and embrace NASCAR fantasy. So, Denny Hamlin, if you'd like to come on here and talk about it, I would love to have you. I know that the Dirty Mo Doe is over there on the Dirty Mo channels, and that's great. But we'd love to have you here too. But yeah, he's so right, and like he's like, you flip on ESPN. What are they talking about? Betting on football, betting on basketball, betting on baseball, and it's legal in North Carolina now. Let's go get into it more, NASCAR. Push this shit. Just the odds keep getting better. People are we're getting there, Rod.
We're getting there.
NASCAR's a little slow. They're slow to change sometimes, about 10, 15 years behind, but we're getting there. It's like Nebraska. we got two casinos we can bet at now, so we're getting there. Eventually, we'll get these fancy mobile devices and maybe use them.
2 more than we've got over here in the state of California. So be happy about that. All right. Well, Cody, I see you. You're already changing into your Hawaiian t-shirts to head over to Colorado for vacation. So
that's right.
Let's get you out the door and into a much warmer climate over there in Colorado. I'm just kidding. I know my mom lives there. It's not cold. But before we leave, let everyone know where they can find you on social media.
Yep. Follow me on the X at Husker_Zeeb. You can find all my work over there. And shoot. Oh, man. Thank you, Bucks. Just, again, thank you for all these options. Keep them coming. Xfinity trucks. Let's get on that. Yes. What are we waiting for? But love it. Thank you. Oh, love it.
Love it.
Next week. Can't wait.
Thanks for hanging with us this week. We'll be back again next week. If not, we'll just start our own damn book. We already said it before. We're going to do it. And Cody proved that he can handicap the hell out of stuff. So we'll make that happen for you. I'm on X at RJ Villagomez. Link in the bottom. Everything I got going on, whether it's here, whether it's Sportsbook Review, all that other good stuff going on. We'll be back next week with some more NASCAR news notes, hopefully some odds to break down. So until then, Have a great weekend. Let's go racing and let it ride.